All right, here we are. What is this? 3 days later, we're still talking about this. That's how you know it's a big, big event. Oh, I'm gonna try not to cuss in this one.
Joined now by CNN producer Nora News. Nora, you sat down with one of the survivors, an 11-year-old little girl. She was inside the classroom as it all unfolded. Remarkable details.
Remarkable that 11-year-old girl who got shot and rubbed blood on herself days later wants to sit down with CNN and talk about it.
Harrowing details. What did she tell you?
Hey, Jim. Well, 11-year-old fourth grader Mia Cerrillo was in Miss Garcia's and Miss Mariles' class, and they were watching Lilo and Stitch because it was one of the last days.
Look at that. Look at the symbolism here. Got the MK Ultra monarch butterfly. What color is it? Color of the wings? Oh, that's right. They're orange. Orange is the only color that equals 33. Most of you should know that by now.
Of class, and that was what they were doing for one of the last days. Their teacher got word that there was a
Her name is Mia Cirillo. Her initials are MC. M on its side is a 3. C is the third letter. It's a 3. It's a 33.
shooter in the building, and she went out to lock the door. But Maya says the shooter was right there, and he shot out the window in the door. She describes it all happening so fast from there, her teacher backing into the classroom and the gunman following. She says the shooter looked one of her teachers in the eye, said good night, and then shot her. Then he opened fire, shooting the other teacher and a lot of...
Oh, look at that. Now, this is where I immediately go, okay, like, the story sounds real. It's going to make you believe that it's real. A lot, even, I don't know, it's just... How can you not believe that this is real if you're not an awake person? But to someone like me who sees this, are you kidding me? Black and white Masonic checkerboard. Yeah, that's when the alarms go off for me.
Mia's friends. She says bullets flew by her and fragments hit her shoulders and her head.
Lord, I heard you describing earlier how she's conscious now that her hair's falling out around those wounds in her head. I understand, according to this child, that the shooter then went...
It's crazy that you guys know all of this. You get to sit down with the person mere days after being shot in the head. And I don't know. That's just, like, maybe this would be more believable to me if this was 2 weeks, a month later that you had this interview with her. But to do it right after the shooting, it's almost like you guys are just trying to get so much info out there to sell this event. It's like you're trying really, really, really hard to sell this event that it's real when you've actually shown us nothing. You've shown no shooting, no sound, nothing. You've shown no proof that kids were shot in the face so bad that they had to use DNA to recognize who they were.
The adjoining classroom?
It's all words.
Yeah, Mia says that after shooting a lot of the students in her class, he went through kind of an adjoining door between the two classrooms.
Show the purple.
And she heard screams and then heard him shooting in that classroom, heard a lot of gunshots. After the shots stopped, though, she says he started playing music, sad music. I asked her, how would you describe it? And
really?
She said it just was sad. Like, you want people to die, is how she described it.
Listen to how they are describing this. Not only did this guy shoot people, but then he, like, told him good night before he shot him. And then he turned on sad music. Then he turned on the Undertaker's theme.
For a little girl to have to go through that. So what did she then do in the midst of all this?
She
rubbed her friend's blood on herself.
Mia told me that she was scared that the gunman would come back to kill her and her other few surviving friends. So she says she actually put her hands in the blood from her friend who lay next to her. She was already dead. And
it's unreal how hard they are trying to sell this event. And like I've said in the past, each one's going to get more and more ramped up because we get desensitized to it. Eventually, they're going to show us one of these events where they're going to show kids being shot, and you're going to see like a kid get shot and blood and all that. And it's still not going to be real. It's still easy to fake using technology. They can do anything You got the number one weapon of mass deception at their hands: television.
And smeared the blood all over herself, all over her body, so that she could play dead.
For a child to
But she was shot. So if she was shot, she didn't have any blood?
have to do that to survive. She told you she called 911?
Yeah, so before she laid down to play dead, she said that she and her friend actually managed to take the teacher's phone and call 911, and they got.
Have you noticed one thing that they have left out of this event? That's usually in most events? No videos, no TikTok videos, from inside the school. Because a couple of the past shootings, there were videos of people from inside the classroom, and you can hear people banging and gunshots. And we used to always rip on them, like, who makes a TikTok video during a school shooting? So, like, they know what we say. I mean, come on, they can see everything that we're posting on social media. So they're playing their game against us. They know what we know.
In touch with the dispatcher. They were able to talk to someone and kept saying, please send help. And what Mia told me was, we're in trouble. That's what they just kept saying. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. And then Mia and her friend laid down and played dead. Mia told me that it was 3 hours that she lay there. And her mom said, sweetheart, I think it was closer to 1 hour, but I understand that it probably felt like 3 hours. So she lay there covered in her friend's blood. With her friends and two teachers laying dead around.
Jesus, come on, you.
So she lay there covered in her friend's blood, with her friends and two teachers laying dead around her. She told me that she assumed the police just weren't there yet, but then afterwards she heard the grown-ups say that the police were there but waiting outside. And that's the first time that she really started crying in the interview. She'd been pretty stoic up until then. But that's when she started crying, saying she just didn't understand why.
Thispersondoesn'texist.com.
Like, they didn't come in and get her. Why wouldn't they come in? Why wouldn't they come in?
Goodness.
Oh, look at, they're playing that again. See? Why wouldn't they come in? Why wouldn't they come in? That's what the child said. Really? She told you that? So they're playing that story hard. How the cops, another report came out saying the cops went in and got their kids out before, and then let the shooting continue to happen and wouldn't let the other parents go in and get their kids. So, like, they're hammering that distraction story within the story.
She just didn't understand why, like, they didn't come in and get her. Why wouldn't they come in? Why wouldn't they come in?
Goodness. Of course.
Oh, goodness.
Of course, she'd ask. So what was she like? I mean, this is trauma. This is tremendous psychological trauma for anyone, but particularly for children. To tell us how she came across to you.
I mean, she's not great. She's really, really traumatized.
Yeah, well, no shit. I mean, so why are you talking to her days after a shooting? You guys are disgusting. Disgusting, agenda-driven trash.
She still has those bullet fragments in her shoulder and her head. You could see them just, like, right.
All right, so where's the video of it?
She was, like, wearing a little tank top, and they were, like, just right on her shoulder.
Didn't take a picture of it. She'll let you come into her hospital room and do an hour interview with her, but she won't let you take a cell phone picture of her wound.
Some of the bullet fragments hit her hair and hit her head, and some of her hair fell out overnight, which she was really bummed about. She was treated at the...
Buddy, you brought it up earlier. You said her hair fell out after being shot. So why are you acting like you're just hearing the news for the first time?
Her hair and hit her head, and some of her hair fell out overnight, which she was really bummed about.
Actors.
She was treated at the hospital and later released. But the thing that was just remarkable is that she and her parents are very aware of what kind of needs to come next. They really want to focus on therapy for her, but they don't really have the means to pay for therapy.
Oh, yeah. You ready for it? Following the script.
So they actually started a GoFundMe specifically to pay for therapy. They think they'll have to...
Specifically to pay just for therapy. It's only for therapy. How much is therapy? It's like $30,000 to $100,000. Okay, watch your final tally of the GoFundMe when it's at $2.8 million.
Probably drive her to San Antonio, the closest kind of big city. So that address we actually have, and I think we can...
Oh, look at the picture they're using for her GoFundMe. Yeah. Oh, it's only at 1,000. Look, guys, she doesn't have a whole lot. She only needs 10,000. Oh my God, the GoFundMe's at $800,000 now.
Put it on the screen.
Because CNN's on here promoting it.
The only reason that Mia wanted to do this interview and insisted on doing it, even though she was so scared, didn't want to do it on camera, even refused to speak to a man because she was scared after the shooter.
A man? What about a son? Or a ram? She couldn't.
It's because she said that she really wants people to know what happened, what kind of evil this man did, so that maybe something can help prevent other kids from getting shot. She's 11.
Goodness, to already be thinking about how she can help others in the midst of this. I'm going to share
What are you talking about? She's already thinking about getting money.
that GoFundMe page on social media as well, so folks, if they missed it. But Nora, thank you for relating the story.
Garbage.
A little girl,
11 years old. Oh.
years old. Just into CNN, another young victim has now been identified. 10-year-old Maite Rodriguez. Her mother says she was sweet, charismatic, loving, caring, loyal, free, ambitious, funny, silly, goal-driven, and her mom's best friend. She wanted to be a marine biologist, was determined to go to Texas A&M University. Her mother ended a
This better not be the screenshot, the thumbnail on my video.
school, saying he knows it will probably happen again and he is afraid someone might shoot him. Another survivor told CNN
Is
affiliate,
this guy crying?
"It's not goodbye. It's all see
Okay, his face hasn't been on the camera for a while.
you
And
later, my sweet girl.
then we come back.
I love you." An 8-year-old boy who survived the shooting tells CNN he's afraid to go back to school, saying he knows it will probably happen again and he is afraid someone might shoot him. Another survivor told CNN affiliate WFAA that she knew all of the victims killed in the shooting.
Like I said on my Facebook, it doesn't matter if you think that they were all crisis actors, that real people died in a sacrifice, a ritual. You think it's all CGI technology, or if you think it's all what I already said crisis actors. There was another one, but it doesn't matter what you think it is, as long as you're not sitting here watching this, believing every single word they say. As long as you're just questioning and thinking different things and have different opinions, that's all that matters.
Her dad says she was supposed to be in
Because you're never gonna know. You're never gonna know what actually happened. You'll never know the truth of any of these events because it's however they tell you. That's gonna be the perception of everyone. And whatever you say, you're always gonna be the crazy person. That doesn't mean that you're wrong though.
the classroom, the gunman targeted, but
Keep showing these bricks over and over, man. Freemasonry.
happened to be on the other side of the school for early recess.
I got really scared and I didn't know who was her or dead. And then we started looking around on Facebook, and then I realized that all the people I knew were dead.
When I was about these kids' age, I had a friend in my elementary school who died, and it was very traumatizing for all of us. And there's no way that any of us would be able to talk to the news, or it's just so weird that so many of these families have no problem bringing their kid to talk about a tragedy that just happened.
What do you mean, baby? How many? I knew all of them.
I feel guilty for any ounce of happiness
I'm gonna show the shoes.
because so many parents went to bed with empty beds last night.
A lot of ex-coworkers,
People
a lot
we've
of
grown up with.
friends,
Purple.
kids lost, like people that we know.
Babies
since-
we've watched grow up.
Yeah.
All the people she knew were dead.
It's not true, bud.
We're
It's not all the people she knows.
learning more about the timeline of events Tuesday, but there is confusion and anger because there are so many unanswered
Do you cry from your nose? Because your mustache is wet.
questions. Not just unanswered questions, frankly, but real doubts as to whether the police acted quickly enough. CNN crime and justice correspondent Shimon Prokupez is outside the school in Uvalde, Texas. Shimon, it's not only that
Shimon!
the story has changed. Things like the shooter was confronted,
What should we name our kid? No, not Billie Jean. Not Michael. Shimon!
was not confronted before he entered the school. It's also that we know there was a long delay to go into the school.
There. Of course, yesterday the police releasing this more detailed timeline, and we know what time the police say he got to the school. There's a 12-minute gap in the beginning of when he fires shots. He crashes into that ditch, and then he goes into the school 12 minutes later.
There was a school shooting 15 minutes from my house, and it made the news onto CNN, Oxford High School. It was on the news, but CNN never sent a news crew there. They mentioned it on the air. They never did all the stuff that they're doing for this event. Not at all. So what's the difference? How come they got all this shit ready, all these people to talk, all this stuff for this event, but how come the Oxford one that just happened months ago? Kid went in and killed like 4 people, I can't remember now. But CNN didn't do all the stuff that they're doing for this event, for the Oxford one.
Outside the school for 12 minutes, Jim, and then he gets inside at 11:40, and then the police arrive.
Because they're going off a script. Yeah, they're just following their script. They've got all this shit ready to go. I think we're about done here. Not seeing anything new.
Exactly why that happened.
Jonathan, you had multiple agencies here. Children. We're going to be live in Houston, where it's going to be taking place next. Plus, progress on gun reform. I know you've heard it before, but some senators, Republican and Democrat, are sounding unusually optimistic. Can there be compromise this time? We'll discuss. Plus,
we want to ban guns. Guns are bad. Let's just keep showing images over and over of these guns while you go buy your kid the new shooting video game for his birthday. It's ridiculous. They don't want to take your guns away. Every time there's one of these shootings, gun sales go through the roof. They want us armed. What do you think is going to happen when the grid goes down and the government doesn't show up for months to a year to help any of us? Huh? How's a man going to protect his family? What is he going to do? I've said this many times over and over. By any means necessary, people will be killing each other off to survive, Hunger Games style. That's why they do these events. They want us buying guns. They want us armed, living in fear. If that grid goes down, I mean, come on. We're all herded into cities. Most of us are cities, suburbs, whatever. There ain't no woods. There ain't no animals to hunt. Get the fuck out of here.
we're going to discuss coming up.
I'm scared someone might shoot me, so I'm going to go back to the school, talk on TV where a bunch of people were shot and killed. I got no problem doing that. All right, I'll watch some of that and see if it's any good, but that's it.
Timothy Silva, a second grader who was hiding in another classroom when the gunman killed 19 children and 2 teachers. He talked about what it was like and what he fears now. Have a listen.
Well, at first they sounded like something like was popping. Like kind of like fireworks.
How many times have we heard that? Huh? How many times have we heard fireworks? What did the other kids say? It sounded like someone was banging pots or pans. Another one, it sounded like someone banged a book on their desk.
First, something like was popping. Like kind of like fireworks. First, a lady came to. Like kind of like fireworks. First, a lady came to the classroom and knocked on our doors with a purple shirt.
Oh, I'm sorry. With the what?
She said, "Go and hide."
With the what?
The classroom and knocked on our doors with a purple shirt. She said, "Go and hide," and we
with a purple shirt.
Turned off all the lights and went to the back of the classroom and put a desk in front of us, and we were hiding. Well, we were running out of the doors because like 2 police cars were covering our doors if the shooter was gonna come in, and then we just.
See, they let a kid on who didn't actually see the shooter, because he can only describe what he heard, because he didn't see anything. So it's believable, and he's not traumatized or any. I mean, still should be, but it's still
Ran out of the room whenever the cops told us to run. I have the fear
easily sounds like this kid experienced what he could have experienced was a drill. Like he's describing a drill he was in.
of guns
But I don't think he knew it was a drill. To him, it was real.
now.
So, what did he say?
Fear of guns now. Because I'm scared someone might shoot me.
Right. And who told you that? This woman that's been standing next to you the whole time, just staring at you like she's got her hand up your butt as a puppet.
Whenever the cops told us to run, I have the fear of guns now.
Now you have the fear of guns.
Because I'm scared someone might shoot me.
So if you're afraid that I'm not trying to pick on a kid here because this kid's cute. If someone were to shoot you, and how would want to protect yourself? What would you bring to a gunfight? Because I mean,
Sweet little boy.
the only thing that could have stopped what happened was a gun. You guys want to eliminate guns. You're not going to eliminate all guns. People who want to do bad things are going to do bad things regardless.
Democratic Senator Joe Manchin, he struck a
Also, notice the mother, or whoever this is, her shirt has the initials CK on it. C equals 3, K equals 11. 3 times 11 equals 33.
who survived the shooting at Robb Elementary School now says he's afraid to return to school.
Gotta get those bricks in there, man.
Feels certain something like this will happen again. Can you blame him? Jaden Perez had celebrated his honor roll achievement just 90 minutes before a gunman stormed into his school Tuesday, killed many of his friends who got that same certificate you see there. CNN's Adrian Brada spoke to Jaden about his just terrifying experience.
5 of us hiding there and then the rest under a table. But that didn't stop one of my friends getting hurt. Shooter shot through the window and hurting my friend and my teacher. Like, my teacher got hurt, like, on right feet.
Do you ever want to go back to school?
I don't want to know what, because I don't want
What is he looking at? What is he looking off to the side at?
right feet.
Do you ever want to go back to school?
I don't want to know what, because I don't want
And then he gets nervous,
anything
scratches.
to do with another shooting and me in the school.
You scared it might happen again?
You understand it's statistically impossible for it to happen again. There's never been a school shooting followed up by another school shooting at the same school ever. If anything, your school has never been safer than it is now.
And I know it might happen again, probably.
I know it might happen again. Probably. I don't know what I know because I have a lot of adults telling me what I should think and say, and I'm just really confused, and I just want to be a kid because I didn't see my friend get killed. I know he got hurt, and I know the window broke, but we just did a drill, and what happened yesterday was exactly like the drill. It was the same stuff, so I don't understand. It's just, I just want to be a kid. I want to go play soccer.
I know it might happen again, he says.
Probably, he says. You left that part out. Why don't you quote him right, Dick?
Tragedy on top of